Now we get to put our money where our mouth is. Saginaw Bay, are you guys catching the bigger fish? Detroit River, are you guys catching the bigger fish? Do we even have anyone in the St. Clair River? What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Hook One Pod. Hey, we're here at Hook One Bait and Tackle. In the studio, as always, I'm your host, Pete. If you're not watching this on YouTube, Louie's not with us, but we got two other great guests with us today. We got Gabe. What's going on, man?
How's it going, Pete?
Very good, sir. And we got Dave.
How you doing, Pete?
Dave, what's going on, man?
Not too much, man. Just excited about the event.
It is very exciting. We've got a big event coming up. I know you guys have probably seen this stuff circling around on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. That's because your guys' social media team did a really good job of getting the word out there. I guess first we'll just kind of introduce the Derby and then talk about how crazy your life got in the last couple days after announcing it. But we've got two ultimate derbies going on.
Yep. We've got the ultimate walleye derby and the ultimate salmon derby. The walleye derby's a 4-week event in the spring, and the salmon derby is a 8-week event in the summer. Different waters, I guess. The walleye derby's on the east side of the state. The salmon derby is Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. We're super excited about them.
Yeah, man, it's going to be really exciting. A lot has gone into planning something like this. It's really hard to even give you guys like an idea of what we're talking about until we really dive into it. I mean, the salmon side of thing covers all of Lake Michigan, including the states on the west side of Lake Michigan. So you've got multiple states there. The walleye side is all of, Saginaw Bay, Saginaw River, Lower Lake Huron, the St. Clair River, Lake St. Clair, Detroit River, out to the Michigan border, right?
Yeah.
Out in Erie.
Yeah, where the Michigan and Canadian border meet.
Yep. So we'll talk a little bit more on the actual boundaries and the rules a little bit later, but just so you guys can kind of get an idea of how big this operation was this kind of the plan from the start?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted just to kind of touch everybody, and we wanted everybody to be able to fish it. And by getting all those bodies of water involved, you kind of do that.
So you guys are traditionally, I mean, Dave, you do a lot of walleye fishing. Obviously, you're around here. You guys fish a lot of the tournaments and stuff too, with old Lackey and Mike. Shout out to the boys. But you do a lot of salmon fishing, and I knew you from doing a lot of salmon and trout fishing.
Yeah.
Is this like a super exciting thing to be able to compete with guys like across the lake and show like, hey, this is what we've got?
That's been a long debate, right? Where the big fish are. That's always, it doesn't matter if you're walleye fishing or salmon fishing. That's always been the debate. Our port has the bigger fish. Our marina always catches the bigger ones. You know, it's always been an argument. You know, and this'll put it all to the test.
Yeah, it's gonna be really exciting to follow along. Now, for the rest of this podcast, all you salmon guys, I hope you enjoyed this conversation about the salmon side of things. I'm actually gonna put down below in the comments the video you did with in Manistee
with Chris.
Chris. Yep. So we're gonna tag that video below. And guys, if you hop over there, Gabe does an awesome job explaining the derby. That was the initial announcement.
Yep.
So explaining the derby, and then really diving into the salmon side of things with those guys over on the west side of the state. I was fortunate enough to get Dave and Gabe over here. We're going to dive into the walleye side because we're walleye fishermen, correct?
Yeah, there's been a mountain of questions here in the last few days since we launched both derbies. Hopefully we'll answer some, give you some more details, and we're here to answer questions all the time. So, as they come up, send us an email, get on the website, get on social media, help us answer your questions. And, we want to make this easy for everyone.
And it's going to make it the best possible thing that it can be, right? And, I mean, you figure there's going to be skepticism, right? There's a big derby coming. There's a lot being given away. There's a lot of prizes to win. Who are these people? Because everybody knows the Fall Brawl. Everybody knows the Walleye Slam. They're great events. They're down in Ohio. It was something that we could bring up here, bring to the waters of Michigan. This did not come together overnight, correct? I mean, we've known about this for months, like as the bait shop, because we've been fortunate enough to be a sponsor on the walleye side. But what even goes into I mean,
It literally started on. I was sitting in the show at Niagara, and jotted an idea down on a piece of paper, probably around a year ago now. I'd been talking about it with friends for years. Hey, we should do something like this, and I wrote it down. And when I got back, I started pursuing it. Opened up the LLC for the Derby, and really got cranking on it. And here we are.
and what made you jump on board, Dave? Because for those of you that don't know Dave, Dave is a very busy guy. Dave drives tackle all over the state, supplying guys just like us. So Dave is a good friend of the shop. Well, I mean, you guys got jobs. How are you gonna I mean, is this what the vision was though? Like we needed something, so if someone's gonna do it, it's got to be us. Was that your whole goal?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to make a derby that we would enjoy. We made it for the people, and we think that everyone's gonna really be excited about fishing this.
Yeah, I'm stoked to fish it. I'm stoked to be a weigh station. I'm stoked to be a double weigh station because to all you salmon guys out here watching this video, I'm calling my shot now. We're gonna give you a run for your money on your lake trout, and we might take home the Atlantic division as well. And there's only one Atlantic prize, correct?
It's top 3 on the
Top
Atlantic.
3.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one top because we're gonna get into the rest of them. Will kind of reset, but we're looking to kind of take that top crown. We've got a really cool fishery over here that I've been talking some smack about, so we got to back it up a little bit.
There we go. The whole debate on where the big fish is going to come. So,
That's it. That's it.
I think that was a call out to everyone.
And no, guys, when I do catch my winning Atlantic, I'll be driving it up to Port Huron to weigh it because I'm not going to weigh it at my own weigh station. It's going to be a beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Or hopefully, honestly, I hope one of my clients catch it. Again, we'll touch on that, but I really hope it's going to be really cool for captains to have this opportunity to be able to run trips. And their clients not only are going to get a day of fishing and a day of memories, but they're also going to have an opportunity to win some pretty cool stuff. So it's going to be really cool. Let's kind of dive into it though. You talked a little bit about the idea and the inspiration of it. I think Dave's already touched on it a little bit, but like, what is kind of the overall goal? What are you guys trying to knock out with this thing?
The overall goal is to make it a fun event that's for everyone, to get everyone involved. I feel like I always felt that a lot of tournaments are intimidating for people. And this takes it and puts a spin on it. It makes it approachable for everyone. Everyone has a chance. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a little 14-foot aluminum boat or if you have a 40-foot glass boat. Your chances are the same. It's about putting time in. It's about fishing. It's about getting out there when you have time to do it, when the weather's right. That's all big factors.
If you get a flat, calm day, you can get a guy in a 16-foot boat to weigh the biggest salmon of the year out of the whole fleet of 40-plus foot TRs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was the number one thing when you guys came in and were like, hey, we got this idea for a derby, and this is kind of what we want to do. I absolutely loved the fact that it was for everybody and for anybody, right? I mean, your guys from shore, we were talking about this, Dave. Our guys from shore, like in Port Huron, they have just as good of a shot as anybody with the monster fish they catch up there.
Oh yeah.
And that's the goal.
And realistically, in the springtime, you get a big south flow. It gets rough on the Detroit River and the St. Clair River. There's a good chance that the best place to fish that weekend is the Saginaw River, right? Or somewhere out in the bay. Because you're protected, the conditions are better, right? That happens all the time. Where you end up with 30-mile-an-hour south winds and no one's going out on the St. Clair River. That's for sure, right?
Right. And I think that's what I was really excited about. I was talking to a buddy about it. I'm excited to watch all the fisheries get hot when they get hot. So like for walleye fishing, we're fishing. This derby goes from March 30th to April 28th. So it's a little bit before the meat run starts here in the St. Clair River, but that's when we get a lot of our big fish. Not to mention Saginaw Bay's cranking out giants. Detroit River's cranking out giants. it's going to be an opportunity to see what all the fisheries in the state have. And again, I'm really focused on the walleye side, but part of me is really going to be peeking in on that salmon side. Who's doing? Is it the south side of the lake? Are those fish moving up the lake, east side, west side? It'll be really interesting. It's going to be a cool way to track data. That's going to be I guess, a positive that we never really thought about, right? But you get to track all this data and all this fish movement.
Yeah, well, people will be able to see where the hot bite's at, and where people are fishing and what class of fish is there. I personally caught my personal best walleye out of just off the Black River in Port Huron.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think that that's a big fish spot, but there are some giants in there.
Oh yeah. And the other thing is we got 4 weeks for this derby, correct? It's going to be a 4 week. So let's kind of dive in to the rules and the regulations. That's topic 2 on my notes, guys. I got notes. I'm pretty focused. But we're going to kind of dive into the rules and the regulations a little bit and kind of the prizes. And that's one thing we want to touch on is it's going to reset weekly, not the grand prize, but there's going to be resetting weekly prizes for 4 weeks, correct?
Yeah. So for the full 4 weeks, we're going to be doing the top 5. There will be prizes for the top 5 each of the 4 weeks. So the big thing that makes it achievable for anyone that goes out and fishes is the fact that it resets.
Yes.
Right. It if someone has a Tuesday off from work, it means they can go out and fish on a Tuesday, where your typical tournament, probably doesn't start till Friday or Saturday, right? And
right.
This it makes it accessible and it makes it achievable for anyone to win.
So for the prizes, we're going to just real quick, we'll go through them. So you've got the grand prize.
Yep.
Then we've got the weekly resetting, the top 5 that you just mentioned.
Yep.
And then on top of that, we've got a weekly sweepstakes, and that's going to be all 52 weeks of the year, correct?
All year round. Every week we're going to be starting those the first week in February. And they're $250 prize packs from our generous sponsors.
Yep.
And basically, if you buy a derby ticket, you're automatically entered into the sweepstakes. And it gives you an opportunity to win without even fishing. It's a great chance to keep up on the derby and keep up with what's going on, and allows you to just enjoy the derby for what it is, and that's a fun event.
Oh yeah, 100%. And the fact that so many people can win is why I think, like you were saying, it's almost like I can fish on my schedule. We just talked about having full-time jobs. Me and Louie talk about it all the time, how it's hard for your traditional, the guy that works a 9 to 5, or he works 50 hours a week, whatever it is. It's hard for him to,
whatever it is, right? This opens it to everyone.
Yeah, it's hard for them to get out fishing. So now, if you can get out before work, I get a lot of guys that go out fishing at 2, 3 in the morning, and then they're ready to go to work at 8 a.m. That gives those guys an opportunity. And like, I know, speaking for myself, we're going to be open 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So there's never going to be 12 hours in which our scale will be closed.
Yeah, they might be late for work weighing in.
I've seen a couple guys late for work due to fishing. I think that's all right. I mean, could be worse, right?
Yeah.
So the locations, we talked a little bit about the locations, but I want to dive in a little bit more on those. Oh, actually, I lied. I want to talk about the prizes because we did talk about those.
Okay.
We're fortunate enough to be one of the sponsors, guys. I can tell you from what we're donating, a lot of these prize packs, like you said, $250. There are no slouch packs. You're getting some good stuff. And then what are you looking for like the top? Like, what are we looking at for the top prize and like the weekly prizes?
Yeah. So the grand.
How did I almost miss the grand prize?
Yeah, we call it the ultimate prize, which is a 23-foot ALK2 center console. Awesome boat. Went down to Alabama and checked the boats out here recently, and man, it's going to be an awesome prize. And then the weekly prizes, those are 18-foot center consoles from ALK2. Again, awesome platform, a lot of room. They do some unique stuff there with layout of boats and so on, which will be eye-opening for the Great Lakes. So,
yes.
But Yeah, and then we have, prize tags paying all the way down to fifth. They're they're all significant prizes. I can tell you that. I personally would be happy to get one, but unfortunately, I'm not fishing the event. So
Nah, you guys are out.
yeah, we're out.
I'll tell you what though, that's kind of where the Great Lakes boating market. I was thinking about it. Like we see a lot of the transition now to those fiberglass center consoles. I mean, you can fish out of them, you can put a trolling motor out of them,
Yeah,
you can jig on them, you can troll off them, you can cast off them. They're perfect boats to take out with the family.
they're
They
easy
don't.
to keep clean.
They're easy to keep clean. They don't draw a ton of water for us out here on St. Clair. You know how it gets out there. So it's like it doesn't draw a ton of water. You can get into some shallow bays, get to your sandbars. The boats are sweet. You guys can actually check this stuff out. Check all the weekly prizes, yearly prizes. It's at their website, www.theultimatesalmonderby.com, right?
And the ultimatewalleyederby.com.
There is two sites.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
perfect. So
Yeah.
you're going to want to go to the ultimatewalleyederby.com. And you can see all that stuff. Again, it's in the link below, guys. You know I'm not going to be that lazy. Come on.
Yeah.
So now we're going to talk about locations and where these guys.
Before we jump onto that,
Yeah.
by all means, everyone check out our sponsors. We got all the pages all hyperlinked. It's easy to check everyone out. We definitely took some time in getting our sponsors together and making sure we had the right people involved, and we're really proud of the group that we have involved in these derbies.
There's a lot of great people involved, and guys, you can see it right here on the screen. All the people that are making this derby happen, and we're gonna touch on it again later on. But there's a lot of really good people in here, and what I really like about it is it's people like us, and I say us, and I'm talking about your small local tackle shops, your the fish studios there, and I'm not gonna go off into naming these guys, but you've got your local brands all the way up to your big guns, your guys like Garmin, like Trax Tech, Whitewater, all helping out. So it's like, it's just really cool to see the whole group kind of come together.
I learned how to fish out of a small tackle shop, right?
Yeah.
That's who taught me what baits to use, where to go, and this is our way to get the small shops involved again, get them really active and help them out as much as we can, and that was really important to us. We wanted to make sure that our weigh stations were shops that we could help and promote and give them a boost, because without shops like Pete's, our industry is missing, right? It's missing a huge component, because I know Dave's not going to tell you where to catch all the walleye, but and Pete, you come into the shop, he'll tell you exactly where to get them. But
that's what we're here for. And I will say this, Dave, you like what you do for a living, you kind of get to see that, dude. Like you get to see all the small tackle shops, and they all know you by name and you all know them by name. And that's that's a really cool relationship that you guys get to build. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only that though, but they carry all the products that we use, here on the water. They carry the stuff that you want, that you desire, where some of the big stores might not, and they overlook it. So definitely, I'm very appreciative of the local shops.
Yeah, and we talk about it even on this podcast. I have people come in, they're like, "Oh, your competition, Cabela's is doing this. Your competition, they're not our competition, guys. Like, I can't explain that enough, because I can't afford to put every size hook on the wall and every size swivel on the wall. But I can also tell you that Shields and Cabela's can't put all the custom jigs on the wall, and they're not going to be able to get the custom crankbaits for the right price, because they only work on margins and numbers. So the way the tackle industry works is we all got to work together. But you're right. You learn how to fish when you go to a new destination, whether you go to Florida, whether you go to the west side of the state, whether you go to the UP. You're not going to go to the big tackle shop. Like, no offense, but the guy in the big box store isn't going to help you. But the young kid that fishes the water 6 days a week is going to help you. That's why the small tackle shops will remain the lifeblood. That's why it's so cool to see you highlight those shops on top of all the bigger companies that also help this industry roll. And the other thing is, guys, like, I can't emphasize this enough. Nobody wants to see ads anymore, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're sick of going on Instagram and seeing ads and seeing. I get it, because I'm the one paying for these ads. I know you guys are seeing Hook One ads. It's what I have to do. These sponsors put their money where their mouth is. here, we're going to give you this product for free. We have good product. We're going to give you this product if you win it. And if you like it, you'll come shop with us. That is the number one thing I think that sponsors should be appreciated for.
Yeah, absolutely. And putting a spotlight on what their specialties are, right? All the sponsors have unique products that are related to the Great Lakes and all the fisheries that we love, and you know, this allows them a chance to spotlight what they do and give back to the fishing community, as you know, through the derby, and you know, just generally support it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's so cool because there's a lot of really good fisheries out there. The West Coast is really good. The Pacific Northwest is really good. Obviously, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, really good. The Great Lakes are such an important fishery and such an important part of like what we do, but what so many people do. There's so many people on the Great Lakes. Now we get to highlight it. Now we get to put our money where our mouth is. Saginaw Bay, are you guys catching the bigger fish? Detroit River, are you guys catching the bigger fish? Do we even have anyone in the St. Clair River besides me and Louie out there trying to catch these fish?
And,
That's what we're going to find out.
And people are watching. I mean, if we learned anything from when we kicked off the Derby, people are watching from Florida, from the Carolinas, from Colorado,
The Dakotas, Wisconsin. And I'll tell you what, Great Lakes fellers, you guys watching and listening, the guys to the west want a piece of it. The guys in the Dakotas want a piece of this. The guys over in Minnesota, the guys in Wisconsin, they want their bodies of water. They're not getting it yet. But we got to highlight the Great Lakes because people are watching, companies are watching, businesses are watching. Guys, the more that we produce, the more stuff that we're finally going to get. How long has the Great Lakes salmon is different, but like how long have the Great Lakes walleye guys been, kind of just thrown to the side? Like, you don't need short jigging rods. You don't need these type of bottom bouncer. This is what you need. And it's like we're different. Like we just do different stuff over here. So now we're gonna get to highlight it.
Yeah, and people need to participate. That's the biggest thing. If people get on and participate, and we're able to grow this thing, and all it's gonna do is improve our fishery, improve the products that we have,
improve our knowledge.
Yeah.
Like it's only gonna help us understand it more. You know what I mean? And then by participating, you guys, by doing it, are gonna help, these guys figure out how to make this thing the best thing possible. This isn't a one and done thing. This is built for sustainability. The rules and the sponsors and the stuff put in place. This thing, I want my kids fishing this derby.
Yeah.
Back in my day, your great grandpappy fished this thing.
Yeah.
He caught an 8-pound walleye.
Yeah, we want to hear the stories, right? That's what this is all about. Even from the standpoint of when people are weighing in fish and participating, and we want people to get on and get active in our social media and share pictures and how their day was, and good and bad and all of it, right? That's what drives all of us. Is you're a part of something. That we want this to be a community, right? On top of the fact that you're participating in a derby, and that's kind of what the sponsors jumped in on. That we were creating a community, and it was going to be a year-round event where you can win prizes year-round. We're sharing information, tips.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there are prizes for sharing videos, correct? Wasn't that part of the?
Yeah. We're giving away Bahio sunglasses for during the duration of the derby.
That's so cool.
The duration of the actual fishing event, we're giving away a pair of sunglasses every week for video of the week. So we want to see those videos. We want to see, hey, took Johnny out on the boat, and little Johnny caught his personal best walleye, right? And it doesn't need to make it to the scales. It just needs to be a video that you submitted, and
it's a story. It's all about networking. Meeting people and meeting different introducing yourself to new products, and hopefully helping you become a better fisherman by at the end of it.
Just imagine the story that you're going to see when this guy that has never fished before, that could never have a boat, catches the biggest fish and they win the boat. Like we saw it happen with the guy that set the record for the king salmon in Lake Michigan. This guy never caught a fish, right? Not a salmon. He never caught a fish.
I don't think he's ever fished.
Yeah, I don't think he ever fished. The first fish he ever caught set the record for Lake Michigan salmon. That was 3 years ago.
Yep, and I was actually out
You were there.
fishing. I was out fishing when it happened. I couldn't believe it. hurry up and ran back to the port and got up to Captain Chuck's to to see the fish. I mean, it was massive.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's like, imagine that story happening. And then because this guy needs a new pair of sunglasses, he recorded it.
Yeah.
So like that becomes a video that, I mean, great. It's great for the Derby, but like that is what it's about. That is what fishing is about. As a charter captain, I love to see, like, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, even things like we're gonna do an award ceremony at the end of the Derby, where
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna gather up all the sponsors and have an event where we actually present the prizes and do meet and greets with the captains, with the sponsors, and get everyone mingling and meeting each other. And the same thing goes for the shows. When we do our shows, I'm welcoming all the captains that are interested, all the sponsors, come hang out in the booth, meet people. This is the goal is to get people active, get outside, get your kids involved, get grandpa, to fly into town to come fish with you.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
It's only going to be as good as we make it. And by
Yep.
we, I don't mean you guys. Like, no offense. And you guys have a good team that's behind you guys, but there's just so many moving parts and so much going on. It's like, by us participating as anglers and by sharing the videos and spreading the word and making this a bigger thing. I mean, I can just tell you right now how business works. If this thing is a booming hit, I can only imagine what next year's going to look like for the giveaways and the prizes and stuff like that. Like, if there's the more participation, the more reward.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we want the prizes to grow. We want to try and pay down more spots. We want to try and extend the duration of the Derby. Really, this first year is a learning experience. We're gonna see what the market wants. We want to hear from the people what everyone wants. We're already getting messages, people asking questions, asking for requests for
Yeah.
things, and that just helps the event. So
It's crazy.
yeah.
So where are we going to be fishing at, guys? Where is the walleye fishery? We touched on it earlier, but what are we looking at as far as Saginaw? Go ahead, I'll let you go. 20.
So basically, we're looking at Saginaw Bay, Saginaw River, Southern Lake Huron, uh, St. Clair River, um, Lake St. Clair, Detroit River, a little bit of the mouth of the Detroit River there in
Yep.
Erie. Um,
Does
and
that include American and Canadian waters?
includes American and Canadian, and all that's spelled out on the website.
Yep.
We've got maps. We've got uh, you know uh, longitude, latitude lines drawn.
There's
of where the
yeah.
boundary. Yeah.
There's
Yep.
coordinates. We only have an hour, so we don't have all the time to touch on all the actual nitty gritties of it. But it's Saginaw Bay, Saginaw River, and it's coming all the way down into Lake Erie. Where are some of the places that can we talk a little bit about the weigh-in process? Kind of
Yeah.
where you can look to weigh in your fish and how we're going to go about that. Hook one bait and tackles where you want to weigh your fish.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure Pete would like to see the entire walleye field come weigh in their fish at hook one, but
Be fantastic.
I know that's not realistic. But yeah. So the weigh-in process is pretty simple. You catch a big fish, or you suspect that it's a big fish. We want you taking a picture of it when you catch it. You can put it in the live well, keep going fishing. Really the trick is you need to get to a weigh station within 24 hours. So if you catch it after hours of, Pete, what time are you typically open in the spring?
So we're open at 6 a.m. Most shops as well are going to be open at least 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 p.m. So you're looking at what, 11 hours, 12 hours maybe before you can get back in there.
Yeah, yeah.
The fish will be fresh.
Yeah, so the fish has to be weighed in within 24 hours. That's key. And then it's pretty simple when you make it to the weigh station. There's a questionnaire you're going to fill out on a tablet. And the person who's weighing in the fish fills out part of the questionnaire. The person weighing in the fish, so it'd be yourself, one of your
Yep.
employees, right? Would fill out their portion of it. If the fish is making the top three, based on our live leaderboard for the week, that fish gets bagged and tagged with the participants' information on a tag, and it gets put in a freezer that is provided to the weigh station. And let's just say the week goes on and your fish ends up second place. At the end of the week, that fish is going to get thawed, inspected. Basically, we're cutting the fish open. It's going to we're going to make sure, check for validity of the weight. We'll remeasure the fish. We'll reweigh the fish, and just make sure everything's legit there.
Yep.
And then the customers welcome to come pick up the fish at the same time. We'll be videotaping all the dissections of the fish.
Yep.
So that we have a record of what's going on, and it's pretty simple. We're trying to host an honest derby here. We want people to be happy that they're participating. We don't want it to be a very complicated process, and we want it to be fun. We want the weigh-in process to be fun. When you're here at the shop, videotape it.
We also want it to be fun. We don't want it to be miserable. I mean, for us or for, our friends up at Anderson's there, if Joel's weighing in a fish, it's going to benefit them. Have a good time, weigh a big fish. Like, it's good for us. And just like, you guys know me as an open book. Any of our customers, anyone that comes in here, I'm going to tell you how it is. Guys, we got a lot of responsibility as weigh stations, and we take it very seriously. The last thing we want, and it really sucks that we even have to talk about that side. Like, it just sucks that it's gotten to that point. I mean, stuffing fillets in lead sinkers, and it just sucks, dude.
Yeah, that's been boy, that subject, I've heard about it so much throughout this thing.
Oh yeah.
But I do.
He was just the first guy to get caught. It's a problem.
Yeah. Well, that's terrible. It can't happen.
No.
With the way we have it set up, it can't happen. But I do want to touch on one thing. So Pete is you're a charter captain.
Yep.
Right? You own Hook One Bait and Tackle.
Correct.
So you are a weigh station.
Correct.
One of the provisions that we made because a lot of people that own weigh stations are also fishermen.
Correct.
Or the employees are fishermen, right? Or fisherwomen.
Mhm.
We made provisions so that if you were to catch a fish or a weigh station owner were to catch a fish, the rule is you'd have to take your fish to a different weigh station to weigh it in.
Yep.
At that point, you're no longer a weigh station employee. You're a participant in the derby, right?
Right.
So that I just wanted to clarify something.
And I asked you that right away. I was like, dude, what if I catch if we're out on a charter and I catch a fish and I come back, even if my client catches it, I don't think that's right. Like, I don't think it should be right to weigh it here because there's obviously going to be questions and discrepancies going forward. And that's literally what we're trying to avoid. So, yeah, we're going to drive the extra 30 minutes, weigh the fish, win the boat. No big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because I've been getting messages about, hey, make sure my slip's ready for the 18-footer that I'm going to win. And hey, make sure that the trailer's got the lights working and everything for when I pick up my boat. And it's the messages are pretty funny. There's a lot of talking out there.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot of chirping. That's obviously gonna be the best part. What about so like for the walleye tournament, we're running it March 30th to April 28th. What if these guys are fishing in another tournament? Can you not? Are they kind of like off the hook?
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, absolutely not. I mean, they can still bring the fish in because remember, it's just one fish, right? It's not their whole limit of fish. So they can go on and get their tournament, weigh their fish, and then they can absolutely bring it to a weigh station, right? Because we will have to keep the fish, right? So obviously you can't just give us a fish and then you want to take it back and have it weighed at the tournament. That won't work, right? So go to your tournament, get your fish weighed, and then, bring that one winning fish in, hopefully, and
within 24 hours.
Within 24 hours and see what happens. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's so many. So, I mean, I don't have. There's a list, right, of the weigh stations, and it's going to be right here on the screen. Boom. But can you give us a rundown of them?
A rundown of the weigh stations?
You got them all up there?
Oh man.
I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. There's no way.
Yeah. Start Detroit River.
I think we got it. So the bait and tackle box down in Trenton, right? Dip net. We have Moe's.
Yep.
We have soon to be Lakeside.
Yep.
We have
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Imagine Moe's has 2 stores.
Yep.
So that kind of helps spread it out a little bit throughout the river.
Yep. Sportsman's Direct.
Yep. John's right there on the lake.
Yep. This place called Hook One. I haven't really heard
That
of
place
anything
sucks.
Yeah.
The only good thing they got going there is that kid named Louie.
Yeah. Anderson's Probate, and we're actually working with a couple more weigh stations. We're adding some more weigh stations.
Like up towards for the guys up north.
Yep. Up in the bay. We're probably gonna add some more down. One more I think on the St. Clair River possibly, and I think we're also looking at one more downriver also. So we're trying to make it accessible, right? We don't want to we don't want to exclude anyone. It's important to us that this is, everyone can participate. We're doing our best to get everyone involved.
Well, and you're gonna start seeing. I mean, I'm sure you already have the last 2 days since the announcement. But hey, how can I get in this?
Yeah.
So you're gonna see. Hopefully, you're gonna see participation from, the industry side. Hey, how can I jump on this sponsor list? How can I get in to be a weigh station? How do I get to be a part of the Ultimate Walleye Derby? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole goal.
And like I said, we're not turning anybody away. I mean, we want everyone to be in on this. This is supposed to be one big network, right?
Yeah.
So,
And guys, if you have any questions that you don't feel like reaching out directly to the Derby, I have a packet of information.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy to answer any questions when you come in to get signed up. There's a lot that's going to go into it, and I know what I'm worried about is we're going to miss something on the podcast, which I know we are, just because there's so much to try and go through it. We're doing pretty good. We're running through our check.
We'll be back, I'm sure.
Yeah, it won't be the last time you see us, Pete. And you want us out of here, but this won't be the last time.
I'll sit down here in the podcast room. My mic's going nuts. I'll sit down here in the podcast room and we can talk all night. I mean, I know we're going to be doing one. I'm going to have this whole setup. I said it last year, so I should be careful. I'm going to have this whole setup down there at the fishing show if there's time, but you guys will be down there.
Yeah.
We'll touch on that at the very end. That way these people know how they can get you, where they can get you, and all that fun stuff, because that's what you guys want, right? More people chasing you down.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how to enter the Derby and then the difference in tickets, because we've got daily tickets, we've got individual tickets, we've got boat captain tickets. Let's get crazy. Let's get into the weeds.
All right. Dave, you want to dive in?
Yeah, I mean,
You can start wherever, and then we'll just ask questions from there. Because there's a lot, dude. There's 5 different tickets?
4. There's
4 different boat. Yeah, 4 tickets. So I mean, it starts off with a daily ticket, and that kind of benefits the person who knows which day he is going to be fishing, because it might only be once or twice over that month of April, right? And he doesn't want to then buy a whole year's ticket, right?
And you got to buy it 48 hours in advance.
Yep. And then obviously there's the for the whole year, $100. That's for the whole year, and that covers you for the whole year. So that covers 4 weeks of fishing, and then obviously the 52 weeks of prizes. The weekly prizes that we're giving away.
And this is guy. I'm sorry. This is per Derby. Right. So like if you put $100 in, and you catch a big Atlantic salmon, you have to be in the salmon Derby. So we're just touching over the walleye tickets. Correct. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So then we got the we're calling it like a family ticket, whereas because we're encouraging kids to fish, right? So I mean that could be like a mom and dad and a couple kids, or maybe even like their grandpa. So I mean it's kind of we'll kind of judge that based on what they tell us, like, hey, this is my uncle, and then this is my my nephew, and then this is my son. So we'll kind of make our judgment on that if we do give you a family ticket.
You just got to be able to prove it, right?
Yeah.
There's got to be same last name.
Yeah.
We want to keep that open to get as many kids participating as possible, and we'll work with you. We'll be flexible.
And here's the thing:
we don't want to see like 5 different last names.
Right.
One guy's in Ohio, one guy's in Illinois, and he's my cousin.
Well, what ends up happening is that's gone next year.
Yeah.
So now you and your family are all going to buy $100 ticket, and it's like it sucks, but it's like if you're going to try and cheat the system or try and sneak the system, you're not going to shut down the Derby. We're going to keep rolling, and there's just going to be changes made. So don't ruin the opportunity of the family ticket.
Well, and if you lie about it and you catch a big fish, it'll flush out in the lie detector test.
Yep.
Right. So it'd be unfortunate for that to happen. I don't want a single lie detector test to fail.
No.
You don't want to be the bad guy again?
I don't want anyone to fail. It's this derby is what everyone makes it.
Yep.
Right? And if we keep it honest and we keep it a fun event, it'll stay honest and it'll stay a fun event. So,
And I'll be honest with you, it's like you always hear the bad, so the lead in the fish and the fillets and all that. We've ran our derby for like 2 or 3 years, and we have our own issues at the local tournaments or whatever. But when it's fun and it's for fun, that it's just it's that small percentage that's very loud and it's like it's very obvious, like, oh my God, there's a mistake. Most of the time, you don't have any issues, and it is going to be a very fun event. Unfortunately, you do have to touch on these subjects.
yeah, we have to touch, and the rules touch on that, and you know, um, it's unfortunate, but we acknowledged it, and we're moving forward.
Oh yeah,
And I hope to never have to talk about it again, right?
no, that's the whole goal. Oh boy, that's the whole goal is we're not gonna have to worry about it. Now what is? So you have the individual ticket, but what's kind of the cutoff for like? Do all kids have to have tickets? Is there a
Yeah.
kids?
So the kids would buy an individual ticket, right?
Yep.
Everyone has to be covered by a ticket. When
But
you're
then
in-
they're also included in for 52 weeks of prizes. So if
Correct.
the kid buys a ticket, then he's in for the possibility of just winning a $250 prize pack.
Right, because
Yeah.
I mean each ticket's separate, right? So I mean
Yeah.
it's a separate name, so you would have a chance to win a prize pack regardless of how old you
I love the thought process behind your ticket is so much more than here, go catch a big fish and get paid.
Yeah.
Like, here, this is a ticket, and however much you do, you want to win a free pair of sunglasses? Take a cool video. You want to win a $250 prize pack? Well, you better hope you're lucky. You want to win a boat? Go catch a big fish.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
that's it. You're gonna have as much opportunity as you kind of want to give yourself.
Yeah, I mean I think it comes down to Gabe like what over 60 chances to win or something
Well,
like that.
it's so we've got 4 weeks, 5 prizes a week. That's 40, and then another 48 prizes
Yeah.
for the weekly, right? So
20.
20.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's
I'm
good.
No, you're good. There's a lot going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
20.
yeah.
His phone has rang like 5 times in the last hour, and it's like, listen,
Yeah.
we're gonna get to it.
Yeah.
We got to finish this podcast.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but 20.
20. Yeah, so the 4 weeks times 5, 20, and then the 48. We have 48 draws for
Yep.
just because we're starting it in February.
Yep.
Come next year, it'll be January.
Do
to
you
start
win-
the draws?
Do you win if you win the top prize? Does someone else win that weekly prize?
No. So let's just say week 1 you're leading. You've got you have the biggest walleye
Mhm.
of the derby, right? So you're declared first place for the week.
Mhm.
And then the following weeks happen, right? Another different first place winner, a different first place winner, a different first place winner. You still have the biggest walleye.
Cool.
Basically, you are going to get the ultimate prize.
Yep.
And there's only 3 18-footers and 1 23-footer.
Yep.
So basically, you forfeit your 18 and you get a
You get in the
23
upgrade.
instead. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's like the better of the prize, right? If
Yo,
you get,
yeah.
If you get a third place, week 1, and then all of a sudden you get a second place week 4, you're gonna get second place in week 4.
If I get second place, I hope first place has a small garage and I take that 18-footer.
Yeah.
I'll trade you.
Yeah.
But
No,
that's a good point. Is you can only weigh 1 fish in during the event. Only 1 fish will count. during
only
the
1
event.
fish will count.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So if you get a 4th place fish week 1, and then you go and you catch a first place fish week 3, only your first place fish is going to count, and
Yeah.
people will move up the leaderboard
Right.
on the other side.
But if you catch a fish week 1 and you get knocked out of the leaderboard, week 2 you catch a fish, you can weigh that
yeah,
week
Yep.
2
It's whoever the best
because it'll reset.
best finish it. Yep.
Yep.
you can weigh
Perfect.
as many fish as you want. They just need to be
25 inches in length.
Yeah.
I'm
not-
measuring them all.
No 50 inchers and
Yeah.
10 pounders.
Yeah.
Someone's like, it's really fat.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So then, Dave, I didn't mean to cut you off. So you were at charter and boat ticket.
Correct. Yeah, so that's that ticket will be $1,300. And how that works is it covers everybody in your boat. So by that I mean, Pete here runs a charter business, and he buys a boat ticket, right? So then he takes out let's just say 30 or 40, different people throughout, charter season,
Mhm.
they're all covered. He doesn't have to worry about them having to go out and buy a ticket. And then also he can use it from an advertising perspective. Hey, come fish on Hook One charters, and guess what? You have a chance to win a fish because I'm in the derby.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of unique in how we structured that.
And you don't have to be a charter captain, right?
Correct.
So like someone that just takes friends out all the time,
Yeah.
or like a guy that he's retired and him and his 3 buddies fish all the time. I'm just gonna buy the boat ticket. You guys don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And so just anybody can get. Basically, if you buy that boat ticket, your boat's going to be registered.
Correct.
If a body's in that boat, you're in.
Yep. And also the boat ticket also gets you put into a side pot from TrackStech, right? TrackStech is paying out the top 3 on the boat ticket side. So let's say
Yeah, top prize is like $5,000 in TrackStech, right?
Yeah.
Shout out TrackStech.
Yeah, so basically, you take a client out or you take your friends out fishing, your buddy catches a weekly winner,
Mhm.
and you qualify for the boat ticket side pot, being the captain, right?
Correct.
The person holding the boat ticket.
Yep.
So it gives incentive to, you're spending the extra money, but you also have a chance to win.
And that's fair. I mean, they caught the fish,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
They caught the fish. If they didn't book the trip, then you might have had the day off, or you might have gone to a different spot. Whatever the situation is, they caught the fish, so they win the prize. But the other thing is, charter guys, the thing that sucked me into it, on the website, there's a live leaderboard. So say Chuck catches a big fish on your boat, Chuck's in first place. Well, right next to Chuck's name is going to be Hook One Charters or whatever the charter business is. That's some of the best advertising you can get. What if a charter throws 3 guys up there in the top because what is a live leaderboard? Is a live leaderboard just the top 5?
The live leaderboard is just the top 5. Yeah.
So yeah, if you get the same charter, throw 2 guys, and if he has a good week and he's on a big pot of fish,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'm booking with this guy.
Oh yeah.
How much is it to book with you? Morning, afternoon, night, we're going. Because I'll pay you whatever because I got a chance to win a $45,000 boat.
Yep.
So something to think about, and it's not. You obviously are getting like your side of the bargain too, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that touches. Is there any other like that? That is the main set of rules. Was there anything that I missed that you guys could kind of think of?
I mean,
Boundaries,
yeah.
weigh-ins, where the weigh-in stations are, how the weigh-in process goes.
Yeah. Gabe kind of touched on it, a little bit. As like the winners. We are going to be doing lie detector tests for the winners, just because we don't want any funny business going on. And that's why we really encourage you to please make sure you take your your pictures of your fish, and
and your questionnaires, keep
Yeah.
those honest, right? You have to answer them honestly, otherwise you're gonna fail the lie detector.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the guy that catches a fish, obviously we're going to give him a lie detector test,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean we're not going to give everybody in the boat a lie detector test. So I mean, we're going to do our best to really keep this thing, as honest and as credible as possible.
Right. And don't let that like necessarily intimidate you if you're a guy that's going to be going fishing. Like, oh my God, what if I answer wrong and I fail? It's the lie detector test is popular in every single major tournament and derby that's done. And this derby is intended for fun. It's built for fun. It's built to win. But behind the scenes, we're not going to let the snakes sneak through the crack.
Yeah.
No.
And that's, like I said, there's a lot of requirements that go into being a weigh station. I mean, to be a weigh station, you kind of had to want to be one. There's work that's involved.
Yeah.
But it's to keep it the most fun for 99% of the people that are out there that are trying to win their next family's boat or whatever the situation is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's making this? Who is helping make this possible?
Well, I guess to start here, we have a large team. There's 8 of us. Actually, I think there's 9 now. But everyone from people helping out on the sales side, the promotion side, we have marshals, right? So the people that come check the fish are marshals, and they're not even participating in this thing. So they're independent people that are neutral. That will be
as it should
fish.
be, right?
Yeah.
Right. You just keep it the most honest as it could be.
Yep. And then on top of that, all of our sponsors. I mean, we have a huge list of sponsors on both sides of
They're looking at it right now on the screen. I edited it. They're seeing it all over the place.
Yeah.
And thank you to obviously you see our name on there for the Walleye Derby, but thank you to everybody that's being a part of this. We were super stoked to jump on board, and obviously there's a lot of other I think the biggest thing that you guys kind of helped pitch to me was like, we're gonna work together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've noticed immediately from a lot of the guys on this list and the people that are coming in. Like we're gonna have to work together.
Yeah, and a big part of it is the efforts of everyone that has shared. Thank you so much. The posts, the comments, all of it. Good and bad. We look at all of it. It makes it better. Even the posts that you might consider, hey, this might be an issue. It opens our eyes to things,
Yep.
and we definitely think about every comment, and we try and read everything we can. So it's important to share everything, and we thank everyone for that.
Yeah, and even the smallest comments, can't wait, super excited, I'm in. Those go a long way, and I know you guys think that's stupid when you're listening to me and watching us on YouTube, but seriously, guys, those clicks go a long way, and that's another thing that just sucks. That's where we're at in reality, but that's the reality of the situation. So, like, just comment on it. Let us know what you're excited for. Let them know where you're fishing, who you're going to be going to. I mean, you guys all know who you're going to be fishing with and who you're going to be trying to win this boat with and all that sort of stuff. So, keep engaged. And that kind of rolls into the question I wanted to ask. And I'm actually going to ask both of you this question. We'll start with Gabe since you touched on it. But how can we make it better? How can the angler make it better? You guys aren't fishing this. How can we make it better? The average Joe that's listening to you right through here. How do we make this the best derby that we could make it?
Participate. Have fun. Participate. Get your kids involved. Get your families involved. That's what this was designed around. The main focus for us, just get people involved and out there fishing, enjoying our resources. We don't want to lose it. There's constantly commercial threats to our fishery. There's all kinds of bills and issues that are happening. Support our fishery. This is one more step to support it. And that's part of it. When we're actually looking to give back to the fishery too. We have a few different routes of giving back.
Oh yeah.
To the fishery.
Money back into conservation's going
Yeah.
back. That's stuff like behind the scenes that's always taken care of. But it's the most important thing to us, right? If these fish weren't here, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We're working somewhere else, doing something else.
Yeah, and check out the sponsors. They're here to support this event, and even just checking out what they do. We have some names on there that I'm sure people haven't seen before. Check out their websites, check out their Facebook, and support all the media, right? All the podcasts, all the if it wasn't for shows like yours, there would be you can't watch a podcast from Wyoming about walleye fishing and expect that you're going to come out here and be successful, right?
Right.
So it's shows like yours that really showcase what we have here in this fishery, how to do it, where to go, time of year, things to look for, right? So just support all of it. That's what keeps it going, and we hope that next year it's going to be bigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, what do you think? What do you think? What can guys do?
I mean, Gabe did a pretty good job there.
I know, he nailed it.
He nailed it. I mean, he pretty much answered everything. But I mean, the biggest thing is like, if you have any ideas or questions, please let us know. Because obviously Gabe, Pete, and everyone who's here involved, we can't think of everything. So, just make a comment or post or give us a call because we do have a phone number now that you can call directly to get a hold of somebody, right?
Yep, that's correct. Yep.
And that'll be on the website.
Yep.
So if you do have
And
any
we'll plug
questions,
the website and we'll put the
Yeah.
phone number in the website, probably not right on the screen.
Yeah.
And come see us at the shows.
Yeah.
That's we're gonna have giveaways at the shows.
Let's get right into it because we're running out of time, and I want to know people where they can find you. So it's gonna start in Novi, right?
It's gonna start in Novi. That's correct. We're going to go from Novi. Oh boy, you're putting me on the spot here.
Grand Rapids.
Actually, yeah, we're gonna be in Grand Rapids. We're gonna be in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yep.
We are still working on Chicagoland, but that should happen.
Yep.
We're planning on that, and then all the in-store events.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing all kinds of in stores.
Yes.
And all
We're going to be doing stuff here for sure.
Open houses or whatever.
Yeah.
We're gonna have we'll definitely be involved in making our face shown at different places, right?
Well, that's what I'm most excited for is to watch that kind of go, because that's why we do it, man. Like it's why we're in the industry, is to talk to these people and to do this type of stuff. Novi, are you guys in your own? You're with?
We've got our own booth. Yeah.
Do you know where you're at?
I
know it's a random question. They just sent out things.
I didn't even.
We're in one of the rows,
to be honest.
Yeah, we'll find you.
Yeah,
we'll find you and plug you guys. We're gonna have all the
track tech. I do know that. So.
Oh yeah, they got a giant. You can't miss them.
Yeah.
You'll see all their information in our booth as well in Novi. Again, the Ultimate Fishing Show is January 11th through the 14th. You are not gonna want to miss it. It's gonna be way bigger than it was last year, and last year was a monster. But you guys can find them at the fishing show. You can find them on Facebook. Two different pages.
Two different pages. Instagram, two different pages.
Yep. So on Facebook, the Ultimate Salmon Derby and the Ultimate Walleye Derby. On Instagram, it's going to be at the Ultimate Salmon Derby and at the Ultimate Walleye Derby. www.ultimatesalmonderby.com and ultimatewaleyederby.com.
Mm-hmm. Nailed it.
Tangled Tackle. Is that what it was on Tuesday? I feel so bad I don't remember the page.
Yeah.
He does an awesome job too, Chris.
Fishing. We launched it on there. Yep.
Yeah. So
we have a media tab on our web page.
Yes.
So just go to the media tab. You can check out all the places we're gonna be, all the different podcasts and so on. So,
yep. And again, the Tangled Tackle one it's on the Tangled Tackle YouTube is the page. It's Chris, correct?
Fishing. Yep.
Tangled Tackle Fishing. He did an awesome job. That was the original Derby announcement. So you want to get some chills and goosebumps, go watch the original Derby announcement, and they hammer out the salmon side of it. Again, we really wanted to focus on the walleye side of it. It'll just be a surprise when we win the Atlantic and lake trout. But no, really, we wanted to touch on a lot of the walleye side of it because that's what we do. And I was just super excited to have something come up this way. Like we do our little derby.
Yeah.
We're still going to be doing our St. Clair River Derby, but this is something to finally showcase what's going on in the Great Lakes.
Yep.
And it's going to be pretty special. So I think that's it, guys. Is there anything else, Dave? Is there anything else that you want to touch on or let these guys know?
I mean, just, guys, participate, share the things that you guys see online. And let's try and make this thing something special, that everybody wants to do it come April time and, obviously come the summertime. So like I said, we thank you for your support, and, we look forward to hopefully meeting you.
And that is the other thing, guys, is this doesn't start till March 30th for the walleyes and June 15th for the salmon. So the fact that everything is tidied up, ready to go, and we're itching and the buzz is now, like, dude, we got 4 months to sit on this thing.
It took a little bit.
I wish it was
that easy.
It was that quick. Right?
Well, from my angle, it was.
Yeah, we definitely it was a lot of work.
Yeah,
but I think as long as everyone's happy with it, and it is important for me that all the participants are happy. So, we hope that it goes off without a hitch, and next year we make this bigger. And any suggestions for future years, we'd love to hear them.
And like they said, guys, they're following along. So if you guys have questions, if you have, let us know what you're excited about. Let us know in the comments, whether you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching this, or if you're listening to it, head over to one of the social medias. Let us know what you're excited for. We want to be, and by we, I mean all of these people down here and these people up here. These are the sponsors. We want to see what's going on. We want to see what the anglers are doing. I want to see where these guys are fishing. For me and for the rest of the sponsors, it's a business thing. Where are our guys fishing? Where are these big fish being caught? Where do I need to sell bandits?
Yeah, what baits you need in here?
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's gonna be really fun following this thing along. We're gonna be hyping it up so hard. You're gonna be sick of listening to Hook One, but I don't really care. Guys, go ahead.
I have one thing.
Yeah.
If you guys want to comment on the video here, let us know. We've been shooting around the idea. Do we start a forum for everyone to just talk back and forth that's related to the Derby?
Would that be like in the form of a Facebook page?
Like a group, right? What do you guys think about doing a group? Maybe comment in this video and let us know what you think about that, and just somewhere where everyone can chat, exchange reports.
That would be interesting, and I would actually really like that because you'd have it's a community. It's going to be a group of people that are going to be following for 365 days as the giveaways and the weekly sweepstakes go on, and then as the sweepstakes end, we're back to the Ultimate Derby 2025, which is nuts. That's nuts to even think about 2025.
Yeah. Start with this one,
dude. But it's like if you could have a forum where you were sharing reports and doing that kind of stuff, because obviously it's a like-minded group. That might be something. What do you guys think? You want to see a group? You want to see a forum? Let us know.
Yeah, comment on this video and we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, let us know. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you for your time. I know you're super busy. I know you both have some texts and phone calls to return, but I can't thank you guys enough. I'm super excited for this thing, and Hook One. Pete's excited to be a part of it, and Hook One as a whole, like we're super excited.
Yeah, we appreciate you being a part of it, man.
Yeah,
I mean, without you guys, like I said, like Gabe said, this thing's impossible. So we really appreciate it.
That's it, man. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. It's free to you guys to do all three of those things. It means the world to us so we can continue to do what we do. We're going to have Gabe and Dave back on with us. So please email us. Put in the comments questions that you want answered. If they don't answer them then, we will answer them again. And we will see you guys next week. Adios.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.